Hi, let us start with Module 4. So, Module 4 is all about 8051 microcontroller interfacing. That means connecting the microcontroller to the external devices. We use microcontroller for many purposes. So, how to use it and how to design a particular application by connecting many devices external to the microcontroller. Okay, so let us see one by one in detail and how to connect it. The first we'll discuss about the keyboard interfacing. It's not like that straight away we take the keyboard and we use it here. So before we do that, now we should know the basic operations of keyboard. Okay, keyboard it is the most widely used application or most widely used devices to interface with microcontroller, isn't it? So can you think some of the applications, embedded applications where keyboard is used as a one of the devices that is connected to the microcontroller? Yes, very good. So for an example, in a swiping machine, to enter the password, to enter the pin, we use the keyboard, isn't it? Then also in calculator, of course, isn't it? You have a keypad, isn't it? Keypads are there, and when you press a key, it does the necessary calculations for us, isn't it? Very good. Then also you have in a mobile phone, isn't it? Which we use very much in our life. A mobile phone. Mobile phone is also having a keypad or a keyboard, isn't it? So if you look into it, the keyboard is one of the important device that we connected to the microcontroller, isn't it? To get the intended embedded systems. So before we proceed further, we must know the basic uh, use of the keyboard and basic operation of the keyboard. Okay, to make use of it efficiently. So let us discuss more in detail about the keyboard. Keyboard is basically it is used as an input device or used as output device. Absolutely, it is used as an input device. It's used as an input device to the microcontroller. So wherever you want to give a characters as the input, it may be an alphabets or it may be the numbers, isn't it? Or it may be any other special characters. If you want to give such kind of inputs to the microcontroller, we have the keyboard to use it, isn't it? So through keyboard, we can give input to the microcontroller, isn't it? Have you ever seen a keyboard? Yes. So keyboards are basically organized in a matrix of rows and columns, isn't it? You must have seen, you must have studied the matrix in your early classes, isn't it? So where you have 3 by 3 matrix, 4 by 4 by 4 matrix, isn't it? So where we have the rows and columns. In the same way, the keyboards are arranged in the form of rows and columns. You can see this picture here. This picture will give you a clear understanding about what a bare keyboard looks like, isn't it? So the here you have the keyboard, and keyboard has many rows and many columns, isn't it? So these are the columns and these are the rows, isn't it? So at the junction of the rows and columns, there are switches, there are buttons, okay, and depends on our convenient. We give name for each button. So it is this particularly we call as a hex keypad. Hex keypad has 16 keys, and each character is named as 0, 1, 2, 3 up to F, isn't it? Okay, and also you can see that in this arrangement, the columns are connected to VCC, and even the other end of the rows also connected to VCC, isn't it? So this is how the keyboard is organized in the form of rows and columns. And when you connect it to the microcontroller, when you connect the keyboard to the microcontroller, we generally connect the columns as an input to the microcontroller. We connect the column as an input to the microcontroller through port to 2, whereas we connect the rows as an output of the microcontroller uh, through port 1. Got it? So we don't use the all the bits of the port, we use only the lower nibbles. So port 1 lower nibbles are used to take the output from the microcontroller, that is basically the rows. And whereas the port 2 will act as an input, that means the lower bits of the lower nibble of port 2 will be used to take input into the microcontroller, that is the columns. Okay, so this is how basically the keyboards are organized. Okay, now let us see that. Of course, yes, you have a keypad, isn't it? You have a keypad. So how to make use of this keypad, isn't it? So first we should know how to scan, isn't it? When somebody presses a key, then you should know which key has been pressed, isn't it? So in order to do that, first what we have to do, we have to go through a process called, very important process called scanning and identifying the key. First we have to scan any key is pressed. Then we have to find which key has been pressed, isn't it? That's very, very important to process as far as the keypad is concerned. Okay, so how to scan, isn't it? So as I told you, here the rows are connected as an output from the microcontroller, and whereas columns are connected as an input to the microcontroller, isn't it? Okay, when there is no key press, when there is no key press, isn't it? So what will happen? All the columns are connected as an input, isn't it? So all the columns, when you read the columns, all the columns will return a value 1 1. Okay. So D naught will be 1, D1 will be 1, D2 will be 1, D3 will be 1. So that indicates that there is no key is pressed in the keypad. Okay. So next, if all the rows are grounded, if all the rows are grounded, and if there is any key press, okay, all the rows are grounded. D naught is grounded, D1 is grounded, D2 is grounded, and D3 is grounded, isn't it? Do you have any idea how do we ground a particular bit of a port? Yes, very good. What do? We write zeros into the latches, isn't it? So by writing zeros into the latch, we ground a particular bit to the we set the particular bit to the ground level, isn't it? Very good. So when all the rows are grounded and key are pressed, isn't it? Now at this point you have to understand that when the key is pressed, it makes the connection between the rows and columns. Rows and columns. Okay. So now here, when all the rows are grounded and key is pressed, okay, if there is any key is pressed, the corresponding column will have the value 0. The corresponding column will have the value 0, isn't it? So here you have the all the rows are set to 0, and any of the key is pressed, the corresponding column will be set to the value 0. That's what I've written here as all the columns or any of the columns will have a 0 value if a any key is pressed in the particular column, isn't it? Then, then what do we have to do? We have to detect the key press, isn't it? So this is how first we scan. Scan for the key press. Is there any key pressed in the keypad? How do we do it? By setting all the rows to the ground level, and we, if there any key is pressed, any of the corresponding column will have a value 0. Then we next we go for the process called detecting the key press. Okay, detecting the key press. For detecting the key press, okay, so what do? We follow a simple method here: grounding rows and reading columns. Grounding rows and reading columns. So again, you understand the picture of this keyboard, okay? So here, what do? In order to know the key, going, what do? We ground this row bits and we read the column. The same process only it's going to be repeated. So the grounding rows means, as I told you earlier, it is connecting the bits of the port to zero level. How do you do that? It is by writing a value 0 into the latch, isn't it? So by writing the 0 into the uh, latch of the port, then we can set all the bits to the ground, isn't it? So that's how we ground it. Next, if there is no key press, if there is no key press, any idea what would be the column value? Very good. All the columns will have the value logic 1. All the columns will have the logic value 1. If there is a key press, if there is a key press, any of the column or corresponding column will have the value 0. Corresponding column will have the value 0 when the key is pressed, because the key press makes the connection between the rows and columns. Okay. Now, how to identify the key? How to identify the key? So for this, what do? First, we will set the first bit of the row to 0. Only the first bit of the row to 0, and all other bit will set to 1. Got it? So first bit of the row, D naught bit will set it to 0. Then all other bits will make it to 1, 1, 1. Okay. Then again, now you read the column. When you read the column, okay, it depends on which bit of the key is, which bit of the column is having a value 0, isn't it? If there is any key is pressed in this column, okay, in this column, then D naught will be 0. D naught will be 0. Then if it is in this column, second column, then D1 will be 0. Similarly, if this column D2 will be 0, and if this column the D3 will be 0. Understand? Very good. Next, if the key is pressed, if the column the D0 is having a value 0, so then the key pressed might be from 3 to 1 and 0, isn't it? So if there is a key pressed, if this particular column, okay, is having a value 0, isn't it? Then the key pressed must be 0. If this particular column is having value 1, then this must be 1. Then it may be 2 if this column is having value 0. If this column is having value 0, it may be the key press may be 3. Understand that? So depends on which key we have pressed, the corresponding column will be read. Similarly, next what do? If there is no key press, still if all the columns are having value 1, 1, 1. Next, what do? We we set the next bit of a row to 0, and all other bits we set to 1, isn't it? So now depends on which column is going to give a logic value 1. We can deduct the key press to be 4, 5 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Similarly, if there is no key press, again if there is a logic value 1 in all the columns, next we set the next bit of the row, isn't it? That's a D2 of a row bit to 0, and keeping all other bits with a logic value 1. Logic value 1. So it depends on which column we are going to identify the key, isn't it? So if this is the column I am having a value 0, then the key press may be 8. If this column is having the value 0, then key press may be 9, isn't it? Or if this is having 0, then key press may be A, and if this is having a 0, the key press may be B, isn't it? So in such a way we identify, isn't it? And one more thing you have to understand that the when you come to the next row, because we have proceeded to the all the subsequent rows is, because we have identified the key press. Okay, so now we are identifying the key, isn't it? So at least in the next row, the key must have been pressed, a key must should be identified, isn't it? So by this, by setting d3 bit to 0, d3 bit to 0, then if there is any of the column is having a value 0, isn't it? So then a corresponding key could be identified easily. The key in that particular setup would be maybe C or D or E or F. Understand? So this is a very, very important thing that you have to know about, how to read the column and how to set the values for the rows in order to identify the corresponding key, isn't it? So once again, I'll tell you, initially we set all the rows to with the value 0. Then we read the column. If all the columns are returning one logic value, it means that there is no key press. Got it? Then if any of the column gives a value of 0, that indicates that there is a key pressed. Then in order to identify which key has been pressed, then what we'll do, one by one, we set the logic value 0 to the row. First we start the, first we set logic value 0 to the row d naught, isn't it? So then if this column is having the value 0, any of the column may be having a value 0, then the corresponding row and column key is pressed. Okay, it may be 0 if this column is having a value 0. Similarly for all other keys, isn't it? Very good. The next, then how to write uh, a subroutine, how to write a subroutine for the keyboard, isn't it? How to write a subroutine for the keyboard, isn't it? So now here, so let us explain this part with a flow chart, isn't it? So here, as I told you, the steps whatever we discussed earlier, the same steps are going to be used here. Oh, so again, you remember the keyboard, isn't it? Where the keys are arranged in the rows and columns, and the port 1 is used as an output, which is nothing but